Hello there. Once again, this is Anton from Anton Will Bay. Thank you for taking a few minutes to stop by the collection room. We all love collecting. It's why we're here, right? Anyway, appreciate you stopping by. Today, we're taking a look at a Punisher series of cards. These things date back from 1992. They are not Topps or Skybox or anything like that. From what I can tell, they are produced by Comic Images and Saddlebrook, Marvel Entertainment. I don't see any other, card manufacturers that I'm aware of or familiar with. Anyway, this is a 90 set card, including card set, including the first card, or what they call it, the checklist card. And this is a pretty comprehensive history of the Punisher, is what it is. It's the thoughts behind his creation. It's the thoughts behind the writers and stuff like that. It's first appearances. It's design of the character. It's a lot of the characters he interacts with. So there's a lot going on here than just, pretty pictures. You get a pretty cool breakdown of the Punisher. So you get his war days, all that stuff, kind of all pieced together. You get his family, the catalyst, the thing that made him what he is, and just the way they present it in this card form, one after the other, is just good. I like that. Of course, I like all cards for being, looking good for their appearance, but when you got some that really break down like information and the past and a whole bunch of stuff like that, I like it even better. Some cards are, I don't know, they're mostly just picture without a lot of like context written on them. And these are just like history cards. So I appreciate that. I also appreciate we're getting a lot of different various artists on this, which I enjoy that. All of them are pretty much sticking to the same routine look for Frank here. I feel like 92 was a pretty good year for the Punisher. I can't remember what year the first Punisher movie came out with Dolph Lundgren, but he was pretty popular back in the day, popular enough for Marvel to give a shot at a movie for him. Wasn't a big box office success that I recall. Yes, he shot Daredevil. Who hasn't shot Daredevil? Doesn't everybody shoot Daredevil at some point? But then there was a big period where he wasn't that popular, and I was like, well, they kind of went astray with the storyline and things like that. And it wasn't until that one Knights series came out, Punisher Knights, Marvel Knights, the Punisher, the one that they based the newer movies on, that it got good again. And I felt like a lot of people came back to the Punisher. My first exposure was the Dark Days of the Punisher, because my first exposure to the Punisher was Punisher 2099. Not even the Punisher, just the concept of the Punisher. I'd never read any of his regular comics up to that point, but somebody got me hooked on that. They gave me free issues. Order so much and you get 5 free first issues, and they were all Marvel 2099 series. So my first exposure to Punisher was Jake Gallows, as opposed to Frank Castle. But there's a lot of homage and a lot of reverence that goes back to this, which made me want to explore the original Punisher, because of the reverence of the future the people had for him. And so, yeah, that's where I got into this. And I don't know where I got this card set. It has been sitting for a long time in my big box of card sets. And I never got to do, I always wanted to do card videos, because I'm like, well, gosh, you get a complete set of cards. What's better than flipping through like a set of cards? I always enjoyed it. You get a lot of art, and you get a lot of info, and a lot of bang for your buck. And they don't take up much space, and I appreciate that. So I have quite a few card sets, and I'm planning on looking at quite a few. Punisher and Ghost Rider, I always felt like were two characters that always crossed paths often and probably just should. Just because, I don't know, they have like a similarity to them. Is that Darkhawk? That's Darkhawk. The Wolverine, those two have some rough times together at some point. I don't know who that, Bushwhacker? Moon Knight. It's just a little Ford van. That's what it's called. It's just called van. Huh. Van. Information. Transport. Yeah, it never made much sense why Punisher used a motorcycle. They're not the most armored vehicle or carry the most stuff. I cannot picture him on a jet ski, but it looks like they gave us one. Looking pretty gruesome there, Frank. I was never a fan of the white boots, and I was pretty glad once they stopped using the white boots, but either way. That's a cool picture. Anyway, as far as sets go, this one is, I don't think it's terribly hard to find. Whenever I'm like prowling around on eBay looking at, well, anything, usually it's comics or action figures or cards, sometimes other stuff, but when I do searches for cards, though, Punisher sets come up pretty regular. They're not too bad to be had, pretty reasonably priced, so it's not a high-end Marvel card set, certainly not one of the harder ones. And I kind of like cards like this more than I like the ones that get really, really glossy and metallic and super thick. And I feel like that's not what a card is supposed to be about. A card is supposed to be cardboard, and it's glossy and finished on one side, and it's flat paper on the other. That's what a card is to me. So some of those really, really like hollow foil cards, they're okay every now and then, but if I'm honest, I prefer a basic card. I like a card. I don't like that jacket on you, Frank. It's not a good look. Who is that? Undressed. A lot of these I noticed have quotes from Punisher on them. Or at least quotes from the Punisher comics. Yes, always killing and violently beating somebody down. That's a pretty common picture of Frank right there. I think that's from War Journal #1. User. Oh, I know that guy. Shotgun? I guess I don't know that guy. He just looked really familiar, and I was like, I think I know that guy's name. Apparently I did not know his name. And I almost forgot there was a Punisher series on Netflix, wasn't there? I never watched it. Heard good things. Never watched it. Actually, haven't watched any Netflix series. But isn't that just the way? Rack him up. Looks like he's about to kill somebody with pool cues. What is that? Fun. Weird. Yeah, comedy and the Punisher should probably not mix. Even though one time in a store I did read Punisher meets Archie, just because I was super intrigued. I was like, why is the Punisher in Riverdale? And how did he not just murder Archie Andrews? And I just felt like that was a crossover that, like, why did this happen? I don't feel like it maybe should have, but it did. Oh, and there he is right at the end. Jake Gallows, $20.99 Punisher. Yep. discovers his diary, begins to entertain some vigilante plans. Yeah, it's actually a really good book. I do recommend it. Anyway, that is my 1992 Punisher set. An easy set to be had. Thank you guys for watching and going through it with me. That's my story. I'll catch you guys later.